Welcome to an edition of Harness Central. I'm Harold Howe. I'm at Meadowbranch Farm in the shadow of Flamborough Downs with Blake MacIntosh to talk some horses. And Blake, in case nobody's paying any attention, you're having a pretty good year. $500,000 for the third week of July. Maybe a personal best year before we're done. What's going on?
I just think we got a lot better stock this year and everything's gone right and just keep going. That's all.
As far as keeping going, Sports Column. Now, we followed him pretty closely for the last 10, 11 months. He looked like the king of the hill last year, had an ocelot problem. You shut him down, stopped with him. Talked to you in February. Everything was spot on. You're very enthusiastic. He starts the season. He gets in the deep end of the pool in the North America Cup. Didn't embarrass himself, but fell in the water deep. Then had a hiccup. Wasn't racing that well, but popped right out. Wins an OSS Gold in 50-3 the other day. What's his story?
Well, to be honest, I hadn't been really pleased with any of his races up to that point. I figured he was a lot better colt than what he'd shown. We had a lot of troubles with his liver and his bilirubin being high. We tried to treat for bleeding without going on the Lasix program, and we ended up going on the Lasix, and it really helped him this last start. And hopefully we've got him going the right direction, and we can take on the big boys again and get a little more of an advantage.
When might that be?
Well, I'm trying to get a hold of the race secretary at Northfield to try and get into the mill stream. It's going to be tough because a lot of people want to get in there, and we haven't shown our best stride yet, but I think we've got going the right way now, and hopefully we can go there.
He was a $20,000 yearling, and that falls in line with a characteristic you seem to have, which a lot of people would kill for, and that's finding value at the yearling sales. In fact, many people would say it's bloody impossible. Last year you upped the ante, but it's really for the most part, the ones that might qualify as bargains that are ringing the bell for you. So what's a girl to do?
Well, we spent a little bit more money on Ontario Sire this year because you had to. Everything was overpriced for Ontario Sire. They haven't shown as much as I'd like, but I got a funny feeling that the Rendezvous Hanover and Ashley Sport at the end of the year will show up in the stake races and be the horse I think they are, because they trained down as my two best fillies, I thought, and the New York breds have sort of outshone them at this point, but we'll get them there, I think.
Talking about New York breds, this must be the most unrecognized horse in racing. Clear Idea. There's usually a $30,000 Daughter of American Ideal that you bought. She's only made $135,000 this year, but all New York, 3 New York Sire Stakes win, and nobody seems to pay any attention to her.
Yeah, she's sort of like the redheaded stepchild. Nobody even knows she's out there. She's been a great little filly. She just keeps trying, and we'll see what she is on Friday. She's drawn in against Tequila Monday, so this will be a test, and I think she can go with her, and we'll see what happens.
You like this $20,000, $30,000 range. You do a lot of damage in there, and another that looks like a good buy is Twin Peaches that you got from Twinbrook Farms. $30,000. She's a better than Cheddar filly. Just getting started, but hey, she's got a win and a second in New York Sires.
Yeah, she won her first start in 52 down there. She was really impressive. The next week at Buffalo, she sort of flattened out, and we weren't too sure what was wrong, and we pulled her blood, and she had a high weight count, extremely high weight count. We got that under control. She's in tonight in Saratoga, and hopefully she'll bounce back and get the win.
And probably talking even better, at $13,000 was You Better Go. Now, this is a daughter of Art Major, flawless, 2 for 2 in New York Sires.
She's got a lot of heart, this filly. She's not the soundest horse. You watch her jog and you think she's a 4-claimer, but she's just, every week she goes out and she just digs in and goes right to it.
We were here in February. In fact, I think you were the first trainer that we made victim in our 2-year-old in training series, and just about everything that you brought out for us that day has done well. To me, the one that looked the best, just going at 235, was Courtly Choice, $60,000 U.S. yearling, Art Major colt. Winless, but racing very smartly. He's in the Dreammaker Series. I guess was fourth last night, but it was a funny kind of mile. And I gather you're still pretty optimistic about him.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in him last night. I thought he would come off the helmet a little better. We scoped him after, and he was full of mucus. And it sounds like I'm making excuses for a lot of them, but he was full of mucus, and I'm really high on this colt. I've been disappointed in him his last two starts a bit. For the second start he had, he got spooked and went inside the pylons and got placed back. And I think this is a top-notch colt, and I think he'll do some damage this summer.
One of the things that's interesting about the game, and everybody's gone through it, is really trying to understand all these variables that come to play, specifically health. There's respiratory problems, there's viruses, there's lameness, there's, the breathing problems and so forth. And after all these years of racing, I'm not convinced we're getting any closer to having the healthy horse, other than you see the champions have trainers who say, you know what, this horse just doesn't seem to get sick. And I think that's a characteristic of the excellent horses, the ones that just seem to have a hyperactive immune system or something. And, I mean, how do you deal with it? Well, you get up in the morning and think, all right, what's the problem going to be today?
Yeah, every day you sort of wake up and you go through, spells where like everything goes wrong, and you just sort of like, what the heck's going to happen now? We've been very fortunate the last 6 weeks, and knock on wood, everything's gone right. We've had our minor problems where bloods have been off, and like that colt scope full of allergies, and we've got to figure it out. Your best thing is to go to farms like Twin Bee and win back, and they raise their horse proper, and they make a good horse, and they seem to stay healthier than a lot of horses.
You've got a string down in New York. Do you notice any difference in location versus location?
Not really, but we've only had 3 or 4 down there. Now we've got 10 down there right now.
And you're based where?
Golden Shoe Farms. Jessica Dose is in charge down there. She does a great job. Francis Dumichel just headed down there this week to help her out for a couple weeks until we figure out what we're going to do. I'm going to try and keep that barn open for the winter and race at Yonkers during the winter, and hopefully make some American money to pay the American staking.
As the Canadian dollar jumps up.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're having a great year. Congratulations, and keep the ball rolling.
Thanks a lot, Harold. Appreciate it.
Harold Howe with Blake MacIntosh, giving you the Harness Racing Edge.